We have just got a bunch of new information about patch 11.1. We've got a preview for Undermine, the new area that's coming during that patch. We've also got a first look at season 2 tier sets, and they've changed the tier set a little bit. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about the new mount, the ground mount that's going to be D.R.I.V.E, D.R.I.V.E. It's an acronym. I haven't looked at any of these posts yet, so we're going to go through them together. We are going to start with the Undermine preview video. So right now we got a new WoWcast for the Undermine revealed. So let's start with this video. Let's start with this video. Okay. Oh wait, hold on. Let me get this. This is the quality's pretty bad right here. Let's let it update. Here we go. Okay. Very Miami Vice. I like this. This area looks sick. Like just the casino over there, Vergalliwick's casino. The whole area, I'm a huge fan of it. Like, look at this. Okay. Good start. Good start. A big fan of so far the look of the Goblin area.
Hello and welcome to WoWcast. Today we're diving deeper underground into the next content update for the War Within, Undermined. Joining me today are two developers from the team who helped bring this update to life. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm David Hollings. I'm a game designer.
I honestly thought that was
primarily on
for a second.
And arena
I used to watch all the SOD updates and stuff, and probably more so than I watch any retail ones. So I'm so used to seeing Agron.
Hi, I'm Mark Collada. I'm an assistant lead quest designer and the point for the Undermined update.
Thank you for joining us today. Let's jump right in. What made Undermine the perfect location for this major update?
Undermine is a location that we've seen throughout the lore of World of Warcraft for quite a while.
Okay.
Both in manuals back from 1999. I think it was just like a little location at the south.
Okay, so it's always been
to
into
Cataclysm
that.
And
that's one thing I gotta admit that Blizzard does really well is they tend to kind of pull stuff back into the storyline that they have mentioned, you know, long time ago. So it's kind of cool that they were doing that.
Seeing it in gossip text and other interactions with goblins. So for us, it didn't make a lot of sense to put it in the first 4 zones, but it certainly makes a lot of sense to put it here.
Okay.
Another thing that we really wanted to do when we were looking at Undermine was goblins.
Such a cool area.
Goblins, of course, are this zany, creative,
he's scoffing with the
race
bomb
that we have in World of Warcraft, and we really haven't seen a lot of development in their culture and who they are, their stories. And so this is our way of making sure that, like, hey, players, we want to give you more stories.
I think the Goblin storyline's cool. Like, look how cool this area looks. Like the whole like steampunk kind of look. Very nice.
That are based in cultures that we have not yet seen in the world, but then also make
that's okay. So that's a mount. First of all, that's a mount you get from Recruit a Friend for like recruiting like 6 people. It's like the last one you can get. But it's so sick looking. I saw somebody with it the other day and it was like, how do I get that mount? It's a Recruit a Friend mount.
Sure that we are connecting it back to the larger story as a whole within the World Soul Saga and especially the War Within. For us, at least, we get to do really cool stuff. We get to interface with the 4 different cartels, the Bilgewater, Blackwater, Steamweedle, and Ventureco. And each one of them and their leaders.
Ventureco's been around forever.
World of Warcraft. So we have Monty Gazlo for Bilgewater, Marin Noggenfogger for Steamweedle, Baron Revelgaz for Blackwater. Don't worry, if you've been killing goblins in Booty Bay, you'll be fine there.
My rep.
Yeah. And then Ventureco, not a cartel, but you'll see what we have in store for them.
Ventureco is a logging company. So I think it's they weren't a cartel, but they've always been around.
Really antagonists, but much like everything with goblins, they can shift their allegiances based on whatever it is that they choose to, and we will explain that more within the story.
I'm so excited to learn more about the goblins and their crazy antics. Speaking of the cartels, if we partner with the cartels, what do we get from that?
So
it's going to be set up like the Spider Place, where you're going to pick somebody and you're going to work for them. I think that's cool. I think it's cool.
The experience that you have within Undermine will change based on the different cartels you ally with. So if you just,
I hope there's just like drag racing type of delivery quests. I think it'd be cool.
Try to go with Blackwater. Baron Revelgaz will be the one blabbing at you in World Quest.
Okay.
It's very awesome. What is a pirate goblin sort of voice? And you'll go around and do different things for the Blackwater cartel.
He said play a couple holes on me so you get to go play some golf.
You'll be able to unlock customizations for your car, different transmogs, toys, sort of the general things that we would expect to come out of a friendship reputation that you're earning throughout the experience.
Not a fan of the
Speaking
armor,
of
but the other stuff's
cars,
cool.
This new vehicle system D.R.I.V.E was mentioned in the Warcraft Direct recently. David, do you have more information on this?
I do, yeah. D.R.I.V.E, which
There we
stands
go.
for Dynamic and Revolutionary Improvements to Vehicular Experiences.
That feels like such a stretch. Dynamic and revolutionary improvement to vehicular experiences.
Going to be the
They were really like, who's got something for this? Who's got an acronym for driving? I was like, I got it.
new way that you get around Undermine. It's roughly 3 to 5 times faster than a ground mount and a little faster than skywriting at full speed.
That's cool.
I think once people really get a feel for that speed, I guarantee people will really start to see just how fast this car is pretty quick.
I think it's gonna be fun.
How does progression work with the vehicles?
Right, so you'll get your car from Nanny Tallulah, and she's gonna send you on some shipping and handling activities to gain some currency and get some parts for your ride, and you'll be able to customize your ride, whether you're getting new colors, make it faster, or even change how it drifts. You'll be able to make it your own. Throttle control is going to be extremely important when you're trying to control your car around those like really tight turns of the Undermine.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I played a lot of Need for Speed as a kid. This feels like it's gonna be Need for Speed versus WoW. And I think it's just gonna be a lot of fun to fly around. I'm spending most of my time flying around Dornigal, and now I'm gonna spend most of my time drifting around Undermine.
Also, we do have timekeeper races that players can go and challenge themselves to 4 courses.
Yeah, that's just normal stuff.
We have both the forward and the reverse course, and then we want to just see how you decide to make it your own with other players. If you want to do your montages as you're taking a drift in front of the hotel and put it to your favorite music, and please do, right?
It's gonna be
We
cool.
really want
I
to
think
see
there's gonna be some
how
cool
people
stuff.
make this sort of like an experience that they're getting into themselves.
All right, now let's switch gears and let's talk about delves. Hey, don't make fun of my pun, okay?
There will be 2 new
didn't
delves,
catch it at
Excavation
first.
Site 9 and Side Street Sluice,
Okay.
as well as new variants of Goblin-themed delves for the majority of the War Within delves. There will also be a new Zekfir-style encounter as well that's going to be hosting
I personally haven't done delves since probably a month ago, but I know that it was a lot of fun. I do enjoy them. I just haven't had a need to do them, and I think that a lot of people, like, they're very good for what they are. So I think a lot of people are going to be happy with this.
all new rewards.
Oh,
New
cool.
rewards,
Do
okay.
you have an example of one of the rewards?
There will be a new mount, the Gobtrotter mount, with new
That's cool.
customization options as well, including a gold variant version for the challenge mode.
Oh, similar to,
Okay,
like, the
that's
Void
cool that
one
it
that's out
glows.
right now if you beat Zekfir.
Exactly.
I like that.
Can you tell us more
I'll go
about
for that
Side
for
Street
sure.
Sluice and Excavation Site 9?
So Side Street Sluice takes place in the sewers of Undermine, and you will get to see what D.R.I.V.E is trying to do in the sewers, what control they're exerting within the space, and the other sort of antics
Looks
of
cool.
goblins away from the public eye and their machinations within the sewers. And Excavation Site 9 takes place in a new section behind Opportunity Point at the south of where we're going in the Ringing Deeps. In it, you're going to see sort
Again,
of like void
not like
corruption overtaking
super exciting
Titan
for me,
ruins to
but
sort of
very
show
cool
this
delve
eternal
nonetheless.
conflict we have seen through the history of World of Warcraft of Titans versus Void.
Very
Within it,
old
of
gaudy.
course, you will go and see why it is called Excavation Site 9 with the goblin-themed antics that are down there. It is a super cool environmental storytelling sort of space.
Okay, looks cool.
So is our trusty sidekick still Bran Bronzebeard?
Our trusty sidekick is still Bran Bronzebeard, yes.
It's hoping for a new one.
So we decided to go with Bran for the entirety of the War Within, as he is a character people have grown fond of early on in Season 1.
Are they going to give him a tank
His
spec?
Meme potential.
Because this guy right here needs a tank spec just to be able to have a healers and DPS that don't have 1,000 interrupts to be able to do this. Because his heals are kind of garbage. His DPS is okay, but you still end up dying. He needs a tank spec.
About webs and Nerubians popping out of them. And also it gives us an opportunity to rethink what a sort of expansion level companion will be, instead of season over season constantly changing and forcing people to relearn the mechanics, the abilities.
That's probably smart to not keep
that Bran
changing
has.
Bran.
Also, within Season
Bron.
2 and at the launch of the Undermined update, Bran will be receiving a new tank specialization.
Hey,
So
there we
if you're a
go.
healer, you no longer have to feel that you need to
Thank God,
change
dude.
into a role that isn't the one that you're connected to. He'll be a ranged tank, so he has a shield and a gun.
That's
and
cool.
Then a new set of abilities that he will receive for that. Not only that, but we also have Goblin Curios that we're putting in there.
Do you think that's a little foreshadowing to a possible next class? because we haven't had a tank since VDH.
Goblin themed
Could be cool.
curios. So a dwarf such as Brand Bronzebeard, with sort of his personality and how sort of larger than life he is, what is he going to do when he's interacting with rockets and bombs and malfunctioning devices throughout the delving experience?
That's going to make life
There
so much
is a
easier for
special
people who are
curio
doing
that you can
delves,
receive
like
from doing the
big
challenge
W.
encounter.
Oh.
And it'll allow Bran to call down a mech that you then as a player can pilot in the delve.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
going to just tie into sort of the goblin fantasy of everything we have.
Very
within
cool. Very
Undermine.
cool.
Now let's talk about Season 2, which starts 1 week after the Undermine update. Let's go
Okay.
straight into PvP.
Yeah, so there's going to be a new arena called the
PvP
Cage
is
of Carnage.
not for me.
And it's unlike any arena we've ever done before. We took a look at the map pool and we noticed that we were missing a couple smaller maps. So we decided to make this map a little bit more cutthroat. Players will be dropped in through a trap door and separated only by a metal platform that'll have ramps on every corner. It's going to be quite a tight fit. It should make for some explosive gameplay.
Well, that's what PvP
That's cool.
players can expect. What can PvE
I'm not a big
players expect in
PvPer, so
Season
it doesn't
2?
really matter
So
to
there's
me.
going to be a new dungeon called Operation Floodgate.
Here we
It's going
go.
to be a 4-boss dungeon that's taking place in the Ringing Deeps. It's going to be at that big dam that you might have seen.
Yep.
And we are preventing Ventrico and Dark Fuse from knocking over that dam and flooding the region. So players can
Okay.
enter this dungeon immediately, but Mythic Plus will come out once the season begins.
That's good, because people are going to need to figure out what's happening in this dungeon, and if they just release it only in the season, the first week's going to be a nightmare to do.
The new Mythic Plus dungeon rotation will include the new dungeon, Operation Floodgate, as well as the 4 remaining War Within dungeons. But
Nice.
it will also include some older dungeons, the Mechagon Workshop, the Motherlode, and the Theater of Pain.
I like Theater of Pain. That's my hot take. But why are we getting Mechagon or Mechagon for the 3rd time? I don't get that.
Dungeon, Operation Floodgate, as well as the 4 remaining War Within dungeons. But it will also include some older dungeons, the Mechagon Workshop, the Motherlode,
Yeah, we're getting Workshop for the 3rd time. This doesn't make sense.
and the Theater of Pain.
Yep. Sorry about Theater of Pain. You're going to be farming my trinkets yet again. I know Soul Letting Ruby is one of the very popular ones that people want.
Sorry about Theater of Pain. I like Theater of Pain. I thought it was
Of
cool.
course, with Mechagon, we do have our lovely cogwheel skill shot trinket that I'm really excited to see people use again, especially when they're fighting other motorcycles in Undermine and the raid itself.
Now let's talk about
That's
the
cool.
new raid, Liberation of Undermine.
Okay, so Liberation
All right, here we
of
go.
Undermine. It is going to be an 8-boss raid.
Cool.
It will unlock a week after the
Dude, that is sick. That is so cool. Like, I love that.
Undermined update goes out. And then we have our
Wait, what'd he
story
say?
week after.
Week after.
the
Okay, so we have a
Undermined
heroic week.
update goes out. And then we have our story mode also unlocking a week after that.
Okay.
So we saw success with Nerebar Palace and Queen Ansarek in terms of people.
Story
going
mode's
into
cool.
Story mode, you get to experience the encounter, you get to see the cinematics. And for us, Galliowix's encounter is a really core part of the story that we are telling within.
It looks sick,
the
dude. This
Undermined
raid looks
update.
dope.
And so, of course, it was a no-brainer. We wanted to make sure that we gave you that story mode so you can go in there as well. In regards to this 8-boss raid, things in Undermine happens the Goblin way. And the
Okay.
raid itself is very much a way with which you can see what zany, crazy encounters our encounter designers cooked up and did it in a way that's very goblin-y. A couple notable examples.
I think it's gonna be a blast. The raid seems like it's like the goblin idea seems so cool, and I think they're gonna do just from the cinematics right there. It looks like it's gonna be fun.
What I would call out is we have the Cauldron of Carnage that is going to have a
Like, this is cool.
gorilla versus a mechanical Tyrannosaurus
Yep, this looks
that are going
cool.
to fight each other, kind of a reference. And we have the big tank that does the massive J-turn flame shooting out of it. And then we have our DJ boss, who compels you by the power of sound.
Dude, this is
in
sick.
order to listen to Galliowix and not to anyone else. And then lastly, of course, the Galliowix encounter, once people see that mech and also what the mythic mount will be, I feel a lot of people are
Dope.
going to be trying to see how they can get to cutting edge because it is wild.
I'm very
pumped for
excited
it.
about
I'm actually
the Carnage fight.
I'm
because
more excited for this than I was for the first raid when I saw the stuff for it. I was kind of just like, oh, cool, it's just like a little spider thing, but this looks sick.
that T-Rex, the Mechasaur, that also has a chance to drop a mount, and as a collector, I want that mount.
Look
so
at that.
bad.
That's
the
dope.
coolest mount in the game.
That
in
is
my
the
opinion.
coolest mount in the game.
Are there any other rewards we can look
Damn,
out
okay.
for?
Well, with a new raid comes new gear sets and set bonuses, and these set bonuses
Okay,
are going to be
let's hear
themed
about this.
around the magnificent Galagio. Whether you're a tank that wants a
That doesn't. I was hoping that was going to be a little more goblin-y.
little bit more luck of the draw, or a healer that needs a little bit added insurance, the 2 set bonuses are going
Clever.
to be unique per role, but the 4 set bonuses are going to be unique per specialization, and there should
Okay.
be something for everyone.
So I have seen this. I don't know if this is, if I like this or not. Basically, it means all healers have the same 2 set, all tanks have the same 2 set, and all DPS have the same 2 set. And then the 4 set works with the 2 set, but unique to each class. And my problem is that if you just have a flat set across every class, some are just going to use it better than others. Like, I think that's going to be an inherent problem where they can't really tune it now because it's good for some classes, bad for some classes, and they're going to find a weird. If they buff it, it just gets better for the good classes, and if they nerf it, it just gets worse for the other classes. This tier set looks sick, though. I'm assuming that's Rogue. That looks so sick. But anyways, yeah, I don't know if I like that. Plus, like, I've been playing AUG, and AUG's a DPS, but I don't want a DPS set tier bonus. I want something that's gonna improve my ability to improve the DPS. So we'll see how it actually goes, but I'm not super sold on it yet.
Before we wrap up, what are you both most excited for with this update?
Oh, it's got to be D.R.I.V.E for me. I mean, I cannot wait to start drifting around the Undermine between
I think it's gonna be fun.
queues. It's going to be my new anti-AFK activity for sure.
Going in
Yep,
circles, just
100%.
like how we always do.
Yep, that's gonna be
Absolutely.
me.
This time,
That's 100% gonna be me.
So I'm excited for 2 things about the Undermine update. 1, I finally get to be able to talk about Undermine, which is awesome. 2,
Great area
players
looks.
getting to experience the new take on Goblin culture. One of the things that the team from StoryCorps all the way down that we have really been excited about is really showing a more relatable story about goblins. And I cannot wait for
It looks
people to see the
awesome,
passion
honestly.
that has gone into
Very excited for
everything
this.
about Undermine. I cannot wait for people to experience from our local stories to our main campaign. There is a lot of love and care and passion put into Undermine that really resonates throughout the whole experience. And it really was this moment of just everyone who is excited
That's
to
cool.
work on goblins. We finally were able to be like, here it is. Let's do our best that we can in terms of creating this super compelling story.
Like that's a
Thank you
sick
guys
looking
so
raid,
much
dude.
for talking to me about Undermined, and thank you for tuning into WoWCast, and we'll see you next time in Undermine.
Honestly, all right. So my overall thoughts of this looks actually awesome. I think D.R.I.V.E is going to be super fun. The raid looks incredible. The whole area looks great. Like, the new dungeon looks like it's going to be fun. I think this is overall going to be a big W. I'm hoping that I'm not let down. But the raid looks fantastic. Like, every boss fight they showed looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I didn't feel this way with Nerebar Palace because it looked kind of very normal WoWy, like just like a spider raid. This looks cool. Goblins have been in the game since Classic, and we don't know too much about them. So I think this whole patch is going to be sick, and I'm extremely looking forward to it. We'll see how the tier sets actually end up working out. I'm not sold on that yet. But I hope that they do it in a way that is, like, the goal clearly is to make them equal across roles, equal across classes and roles. So we'll see if that's something that they can actually do. This mount's gonna be sick. I'm hoping to get that. But all right, guys, until next time,